What is up, you guys? I am Missy Renee, and in today's video, we're going to talk about how to live in the end when it comes to consciously manifesting your desires. So, if manifestation and conscious creation are topics that you are interested in learning more about, then definitely do not forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that way you're notified when I release new videos every week. If you are interested in more resources, such as one-on-one coaching with me or my new Facebook group, I will have those linked down in the description box below, so do not forget to check them out. Also, if you enjoyed this video and find this content helpful, if you like cats, then definitely do not forget to smash that thumbs up button. This will tell the YouTube algorithm to bring this video to a wider audience so that more people can get this life-changing information. I'm going to say that it's safe to assume that for most of you watching this video, you have probably heard the term living in the end. If you have been studying anything about manifestation, specifically anything Neville Goddard related, or when it comes to the law of assumption, this is a term that gets used often. And it can also be an incredibly confusing thing to understand. So if this sounds like you, if this is something that you have been wondering about, or perhaps something that you have been struggling with, then definitely stick around through the end of the video, because today I'm going to talk all about living in the end, what that means, how to do it, and more importantly, how to maintain that state of the end or living in the wish fulfilled so that you can finally manifest whatever it is that you want. So diving right into this, what does it mean to live in the end or live in the wish fulfilled, as it's sometimes referred to? The short answer for anyone who may in fact be new to this teaching and what it means, when we talk about living in the end or living in the wish fulfilled, we are in effect feeling and imagining what that would be like if we now had the thing that we desired, or if we were now the person that we desired to be. Because it's that feeling, it's that state that we want to embody in order to see it come to pass, in order to get that subconscious impression, which then will manifest in our 3D world. It is an incredibly simple concept in theory, but when we put it to practice, this is where a lot of people stumble and get tripped up. I get questions every day about living in the end, about what to do and how to go about doing this. I get questions every day such as, how on earth do I live in the end when I can clearly see that it's not here? How do I convince myself that this desire is mine when I don't have it, when my physical senses are clearly telling me that it's not here yet? Doesn't it feel like we're lying to ourselves? Are we supposed to be feeling delusional about this? Because it feels pretty delusional. Sometimes it feels downright impossible to do this. So there's a lot of confliction and a lot of confusion about this. And the way I see most people going about living in the end is by pretending that their desire is theirs, by faking it until they make it, and acting as if the desire is already in your 3D. If this is what you are doing, and if this is where you're having struggles, then I can assure you this is not how we go about living in the end. And this is not what we mean when we say to feel the wish fulfilled. And here's the little secret about living in the end. We're not pretending like we have our desire in the 3D right now. We are not trying to trick ourselves or convince ourselves that our specific person is sitting with us or laying with us in bed right now in the 3D. Doing that will absolutely feel delusional, because your physical senses are going to scream at you that that's a lie. Living in the end simply means that you have tapped into that feeling of what it would be like if your desire was already yours. And once you have imagined that feeling, once you have imagined yourself as the person that you desire to be, living in the reality that you desire to experience, it is knowing that it is going to show up in your 3D. Not that we have it right now, because again, that will naturally make you feel pretty crazy and it's going to get frustrating really quick. Living in the end is imagining and feeling what that desire feels like, and then knowing that it is going to happen. It is believing that once it is felt, that it must appear in your 3D. The other reason that people get confused and struggle with this is because they're trying to force themselves to do something that does not feel natural. We are trying to apply force and willpower and effort for something that should be effortless. Because here's the thing, we are always living in the end. This is something that we have always been doing and will always continue to do. We are masters at living in the end. We are always embodying a state of consciousness, and that is entirely determined by the concept of self that we carry. Our beliefs and our assumptions about ourselves and about the world around us is what determines the state or the reality that we wind up experiencing. And we do this on the subconscious level. We're not even thinking about it. We feel it and then it happens. And let me give you guys an example to try to explain this. Let's say that you have made plans to meet up with some friends after you get off work, and then notice how there's no effort involved in doing so. This is something that obviously comes easily and effortless to us. At work, we may be feeling excited. We may be thinking about how we can't wait to get off work and join our friends at the bar or the pub. We may feel like the workday needs to hurry up already so that we can get off and go have fun. When you're doing this, you are living in the end. You are thinking from and imagining a state that you are not presently in. You are not trying to pretend that you are at the bar with your friends when you're at work in the office or at home. You are not saying 500 affirmations about how you intend to go to the bar after work to meet your friends. You set an intention, and then the intention plays out, and a bridge of incidents unfolds that takes you from the office to the bar. There is no strain here. There is no effort that we exert. It just comes to us. And by doing this, it plays out perfectly. Now, I know you might be saying, oh, that doesn't count, Missy. I mean, of course I'm going to get to the bar after work because I'm physically involved in this and I'm planning on doing something. That doesn't count. And to that I say, fair enough. So let me give you another example, and one that most of you have probably experienced at one point or another. Let's say that you suspected that your boyfriend or girlfriend was lying to you. Call it a hunch, call it a sneaky suspicion, maybe they've been acting weird, but you have the feeling that something's going on and you don't know what it is, but that feeling will not leave you alone. Well, that hunch or that suspicion was based on a belief that you carry. And thus, you started to think from and live in the end. That belief that they're lying to you moved you into a state where that became true. That became your reality. Because the seed has been planted, you are now living in the end. Even if the 3D shows you the exact opposite, even if there is no proof other than a sneaky suspicion, this is prime example of living in the end and ignoring the 3D circumstances. Because in your mind, in your state of consciousness, they're lying to you. Perhaps you have these images and scenarios coming to your mind about confronting them and about the fight that's going to ensue. and what you're going to say to them. The inner conversations start playing out effortlessly. And sure enough, when the lie comes out and you find out what's going on, you're like, I knew it. And everything played out exactly to a T as you thought it would. And these are just a couple examples out of many, 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 and I'm sure you get the point. But this is something that we are always doing and we always have done. Anytime that you had a feeling that something was going to happen and that feeling played out exactly how you thought it would and exactly how you imagined it would, that was living in the end. Notice how there was no need to do sats, there was no need to do affirmations, there was no need to force ourselves to feel it, to force this outcome to happen. We had a feeling and then it happened. The law has been playing out perfectly for all of us our whole lives. Just because we are now trying to shift the focus and attention to our desires versus a terrible outcome doesn't mean it has to be forced. We don't have to pretend like the desire is already with us. We don't have to try to do the techniques in order to get the outcome. The techniques are vessels that help us bridge the gap between where we are now and where it is that we desire to be. All that is needed is to imagine and feel what that would feel like if you were now the person you desire to be, and really begin to picture and embody what that would feel like, what that would sound like, what that would look like. Because the truth is that we have been manifesting things effortlessly for us the whole time. We don't have to pretend like it's happening now. We just have to feel it and know that it's going to happen. Just like how you expected those terrible outcomes to happen, just like how you knew those bad things were going to unfold and they felt so real and they came effortlessly. Play with it with what you do want instead of what you don't. Play with this and feel it as much as you need to until it begins to become the norm, until it becomes the expectation of what is going to happen. All we need to do is imagine it, feel it, and know that it's going to come to pass in the 3D. There are no limits to your imagination, and you can imagine something happening right now. You don't have to wait. You don't have to feel like it's far away from you. You can experience it in imagination right now. And here is another tip from Neville to break this all down. Can I really believe what I have just imagined? Can I? Well then, I must know now if I am putting my trust in this one, which is my own imagination. Well then, I will know I have obtained it. It has already been done. Now, wait for it. It's done. Like a shipment. I have complete confidence in a shipment coming if I have ordered it. So you order, and then you wait. It may come by slow freight, it may come by express, it may come by air freight. It'll come. The vision is maturing. And if it seem long, then wait, for it is sure, and it will not be late. Just as when you put in an order, you know it's coming. You know that it must come to pass. Not that we have to pretend, not that we have to act as if. In fact, these things are going to more likely than not make us feel delusional and like we're lying to ourselves. Instead, it's knowing that once we have imagined, we have selected that state and we have embodied that state. And by doing so, it must become a 3D experience. So play with this. Play with the feeling. Ask yourself the simple question, what would it feel like if I was now the person I desire to be? And take that feeling in, and as much as you can muster. Your imagination will not fail you if you are faithful. And you have been faithful to your imaginal acts your whole life. Everything that you have experienced was once an assumption, an imaginal act. Only this time, it's of what we desire instead. And once you do this, once you begin to play with that feeling in imagination, once you have embodied it, and once you have complete faith that it must come to pass, that is how you manifest anything that you want. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I hope you found it informative. If you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you are interested in checking out any of my other resources, I will leave the links down in the description box below to my one-on-one coaching, my blog, my social channels, my podcast, my new Facebook group, all that good stuff. Check it out in the description box. Do not miss out. Also, do not forget to check out these videos over here. Each video is a different topic, but it all pertains in how to manifest the best life possible. So until we meet again, you guys, take care, be well, and never forget, through imagination, anything is possible. Happy manifesting, guys.